It's Don Brown. Yeah, I'm a fanatic.
Ladies and gentlemen,
play good, be humble.
It's your boy
17 the captain.
back at it again. Welcome to a early edition of the Rico Report, brought to you by you know who, the Buffalo Fanatics. What's good, everybody? Let's go. Fresh off Super Bowl weekend, new champs. You don't have to see a three-peat championship chatter all week and for the whole offseason and XYZ. That was put to bed by the freaking Philadelphia Eagles. Ladies and gentlemen, they absolutely, I think my kids like to say this, they got their lick back. They got their lick back. The Eagles absolutely got their lick back 100%. All up on the Chiefs. Now, here's one thing I do want to share, and I want to get into this because this is going to be a short show because I got soccer with the girls and all that good stuff. So I wanted to get this out early. Couldn't get in last night because this laptop was peeing me off, and I was feeling like Bot when Bot's internet was messing up, and he just ready to rage. That's how I was with my laptop. For some reason, it decided to just poo-poo the bed, so I had to kind of push it for today. But I do want to get my point across here. And by the way, salute to everybody in the chat right now, whether you tune in from YouTube, Twitter, wherever you tune in from. Yo, do me a favor, shout out where you're coming from, what area code you repping. Is it 716? Are most of y'all from 716? Anybody from Ontario? Anybody from Canada? Show me your postal codes. Show me your area codes all up in the chat. Let's go. All right, let me get right to what I want to get into. Watching the Eagles' performance, all right? What a performance they put on. To the point where I, as a fan watching the game for what it is, fam, the Eagles absolutely had an assignment. And they understood the assignment and executed their assignment to a T. This was an A+ performance. They studied. They got 8 hours of rest and more. They were focused. And they understood that they needed to get their lick back against the Kansas City Chiefs that took them down a couple years ago. So it was understood what they needed to do, but golly, the way they did it has all fans and all Bills fans saying, this is the formula. And folks might say, hey, the Bucs had the formula before. You should saw what the Bucs did to, obviously, Kansas City. I felt like the Eagles really put the belt to ass against the Chiefs. I get it. The Bucs game was a dismantling. I get it. Shout out to my girl Dorothy. Dorothy, you've been hard on us a lot. I still got love for you. Represent Ontario. I feel you, Dorothy. But Dorothy be coming at us sometimes. I'm like, yo, Dorothy, what's up with you, girl? Anyway, let me continue. So I'm watching this performance, and we're all watching it. And if you're thinking what I'm thinking, bro, the power of the trenches was evident in this game. And it forces you to start looking back at your team, looking back at the performance of the Bills over the years, and more specifically over the playoffs, and even more specifically against the Chiefs in that game. They certainly didn't do what needed to be done against Pat Mahomes. Now, was it because they lacked 8 hours of sleep, lacked preparation, or was it just physically one-on-one, skill set wise, they weren't good enough? I mean, the O-line didn't change for the Chiefs. You had a guard playing left tackle that absolutely looked like he was playing out of position in that game. Josh Sweat had himself a day. Jordan Davis, a day. Milton, everybody played their part in this game. Brandon Graham coming off a big injury. Pressure. Fam, they had 16 pressures. I think it's been adjusted to even more than that. 16 pressures without any damn blitz packages put together. So impressive. I know some people are saying, yo, Josh Sweat should have been MVP. I know. He even said it. He's like, yo, I could have been. You know what I mean? Should I have been? Maybe. But I ain't sweating it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, he gets it. But, I mean, look, at the end of the day, what it came down to was could obviously Jalen Hurts do the job. That's what it was. That's what the narrative was going to be. Could he do the job? But the story of the Super Bowl was how they just absolutely harassed. They harassed Pat Mahomes. Bro, that boy, he was ready to go to the precinct and file for harassment. I'm telling you, he was ready to pull a LeBron and pull the refs and say, we're going to the precinct. We're going to tell on this team because they're absolutely getting on me. It was nonstop. So I all this is up, and I'm not even trying to touch on the Eagles game too much. It was just nice to see. That was the number one thing that stood out to me was the pass rush, was the efficiency, was the discipline from this defensive rush. Impressed. Absolutely impressed with what Vic Fangio was able to get these boys to buy into and handle business. And here's the crazy part. Pat Mahomes has had success against Vic Fangio defenses. It's not like this guy came out of nowhere and put something to him. Nah. Even Dan Orlovsky was like, bro, they didn't do anything special. This was just me whooping your ass for 60 minutes. And the minute they tasted blood, no bueno, man. No mas. Them boys were saying no mas. Tooney was like, please, me just a guard. They put me at left tackle. I can't handle this. No, you can't. But we let him look like a freaking all-pro left tackle against that in that game versus us. Isn't that crazy? So that's number one. That's the number one thing that stood out to me. But the age-old question that always gets brought up when talking about effectiveness and production is, which is more effective in a game or as your defensive scheme? Having lockdown corners and a okay pass rush, or a great pass rush with okay corners? Where if you were to choose an elite corner or an elite pass rusher, which would you choose? That's always been a tough gig to try to decide. Elite pass rusher or elite corner that can literally shut down a half a field if need be. And even better when the player travels. Pass rushers that can go from left to right, amazing. It's always been an age-old question, which is better. And you look at the Eagles. Eagles have two young, up-and-coming rookie corners. I don't know how Howie Roseman was able to manage that. Kudos to him. He's got those guys for at least 4 years. And then he's got to make decisions then. Can he keep both for big-time deals? Who knows? But in the time, they got a four-year window with those two guys locking it down. Good for them. Good for them. And if they can squeeze another Super Bowl in the next 4 years, that's a win. That's an absolute win. Which brings me back to looking at the Bills. Which brings me back to comparing. And it sucks, but that's just the way the league is. It forces you to compare what the team that won and what they did to have success, and then you copycat. That's what you become a copycat. That's how it is. I remember when the Miami Dolphins started doing that whole Wildcat, and it wasn't like it was super new, but it was new at that time, and it was like, holy crap, how do you stop the Wildcat? And the Wildcat was the craze. And then they figured it out and they stopped it, and now how often do you see a Wildcat? A game. Maybe once or twice, depending on your personnel. Hardly will you see a Wildcat happen, but it was the craze then. So you end up finding copycat. The league finds ways to take advantage. Once you put a good game plan together for a team, it's a wrap. You start mimicking that, and you keep going. That's just the way it is. My man said, yo, what the hell's a Wildcat? It's a car. No, I'm kidding. Go look it up. So all this to kind of put a bow in this, right? Before I get to my next point is, bro, seeing what the Eagles were able to do, seeing how they executed, seeing how all the discipline is, seeing exactly how corners they stayed where they're supposed to. They were able to, having to only just protect your zone and play cover 4 and that eventually turns into a man-to-man. So that's, if you have a pass rush, you can play cover 4 and have your linebackers just do what they do. Golly, good for the Eagles and a well-deserved win and keeping the Kansas City Chiefs from getting a three-peat. They absolutely got beat up. So now, how and where does Brandon Beane come in? That's the big one, because Brandon Beane's got a tall task ahead of him. Because there's so many layers to this, right? The team that beat you not only this year but 4 straight times when it comes to into the playoffs, they beat you yet again, and then the Eagles go out and take them on and do what you've been striving to do for years, is build that defensive line and get after it. Golly, by the way, for those that are getting off of work, salute to y'all. Y'all got a little something to listen to on the way home. Cool. Love it. Turn that up a little bit. Let me soothe you on your way home, right? So looking at what Brandon Beane has to do this offseason, bro, pressure's got to be on. Pressure's got to be on, because you just saw the Eagles do what you've been striving to do for years. Trying to find a group, a nucleus of pass rushers that can get to the quarterback, especially this one, specifically that one, Pat Mahomes. And 4 years straight, he eludes you. And 3 of the 4 years, because I think we did a decent job this time around. Actually, I'm ready to say 4 years. 4 years straight, he's eluded your pressure. He's eluded your pressure. You damn right, girl. I'm not calling him Big Baller Beane. He's Mr. Beane right now, until he becomes Big Baller Beane. He's Mr. Beane. Now, Brandon Beane. I know a lot of pressure gets put on Sean McDermott. You should fire Sean McDermott. He blows. He's not a good coach. He's this and he's that, and all the stuff. I see it to this day. To this day, I see people talk about, yo, fire McDermott. He's had enough time to try to get a winner out of this team. Get rid of him. Fair or unfair, it's conversation that's coming around. But Brandon seems to not get the scrutiny put on him like Sean McDermott does. Am I tripping? Brandon don't get the pressure and the scrutiny that Sean McDermott gets. Mind you, they came in together. So I started looking up. So I was playing around. I was like, let me just look just for recency, just for recent information, and so we can sit still. I'm looking up, and I'm looking at how does Harry Roseman do what he does? Okay, that's number one. This brother you look at this guy's roster, you're like, what? How'd you manage that? How'd you do that? You got an amazing O-line. You got a more than competent. I don't want to see that's disrespectful. You got a Pro Bowl type you got a Pro Bowl quarterback in Jalen Hurts. You got yourself one of the best backs, if not the best back in the game, in Saquon Barkley. Your linemen average 6'6", 330 pounds. You got Devontae Smith and you got A.J. Brown on the outside, and you got Dallas Goedert. Golly. Unbelievable. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball, right? And more specifically, the defensive front. Because that's who's doing business, right? So Jalen Carter. I understand it. Jalen Carter was supposed to be top talent. And because of his on the field, or off the field, off the field, I guess, I don't know what you want to call it, distractions, off the field, activity, it had him drop in the draft. So a side note question: when players get into major trouble off the field, should that absolutely deter a team from grabbing them? Obviously, every case is different. You got to really look at every case by case. Jalen Carter, I know he had some legal issues he had to deal with. He dropped, and he fell in the lap of the freaking Eagles. Does anybody talk about his off-field issues that happened years ago? No. Ain't nobody talking about that. It's for the moment. In the moment, is when people want to talk about it, right? But once I got him, I drafted him, I trust what he's done, we good like that. Let's roll. Ain't nobody talking about the off-field. Oh, I can't believe they drafted. Nah, bro, nobody's talking about it. Some people might not even know about what took place with Jalen Carter. But here comes Howie Roseman drafting his brother first round. Fell right to his lap in 2023. He was an absolute problem. Nobody's talking about it. So I don't want to hear, oh, we're not sure how he's going to fit on this team. Adonai Mitchell, I don't know. His attitude's kind of poor and this, that. He could have been on the squad. He could have been that receiver that we needed on the outside. It's got the speed, that's got the size, that's got the separation, that's got all of that. All it takes is right leadership. The right leadership. And I think that goes a lot. Listen, I work my day job for my day job. There's a lot of leadership that takes place, right? You got to learn how to lead people. You got to learn how to motivate. You got to learn how to, speak life into people in order for you to get what needs to be done, right? When you have a team of people that work around you, you got to get it done. And I've learned in my life that there could be people that anytime I meet someone, oh, you better watch out for that guy. Watch out for that girl. She's terrible. She's this, she's that. Don't let me make my decision for myself. And I'll know. I'll form my own opinion. And once I form my own opinion, I see what it is. And then we go from there. Somebody say, yo, Rico got a day job. Yeah, if you think I do this full time, no, sir. No, ma'am, I do not. All right? I got bills to pay. And this doesn't pay the bills. This is lovely. I love it. Don't pay the bills. But let's keep it rolling. And I'm trying to get to a point here. It takes the right people. It takes the right mentor, the right leadership to take these risks. And Buffalo seems to not want to ever take risks, but we talk about how great the organization is. We talk about how great the leadership is. We talk about how great from top to bottom is, but yet we take no risk on certain players. What? What's that about? What's that about, though? For real, let's be real. So if you are all the things that you say you are, prove it. I can't believe the Bills, took on Jalen Carter. Let's just say he fell to the Bills, or the Bills were able to trade up for him. Bro, he would have been in a environment that would have had him thriving, because that's all you hear from our players. Man, operation for Slick Rick. Shout out to my man Slick Rick, the male guy. You don't think that we can take on maybe a challenged individual? Maybe the environment this person was in was not a great one. So bring him to your organization and build that player up. You got the head coach for it. You got the GM for it. The owners don't meddle in your affairs. He's not like Jerry Jones. So be a strong leader unless you're a fraud and you're not a leader. I'm not saying neither one of these things are true. I'm just saying. So if there is a player that you feel can come and help your team, but he's got a bit of a checkered past. Bro, people don't grow. People don't learn. People don't mature. These kids that are coming out of college are like 20, 21, 22. You expect these people to be, these kids. I just picture my daughter's 20. She's going to be 22. People are like, what? You got a kid that's 22? Yeah, she's going to be 22. She's going to be 22, expecting her to make adult decisions or, not do kid shit. They're going to do it. That's why you have people like Dion that are like, yo, you come here are my expectations, here's what I need from you. Set the expectations, set the boundaries, and you know what's good. Yeah, but Rico, financially, you can't take a risk like that. Well, then what kind of management do I have here? I pay McDermott to teach, to educate, to coach, and to lead. But we financially, well, then what the hell are you here for? Let me bring someone that can deal with that type of shit. If I'm making sense, do me a favor, smash that. Now, if you want to go ahead and give somebody a second contract, knowing you've seen the faults and you've seen the thing, that's on you, management. That's why that's why it's not a lifetime contract when you sign someone. And If you're lucky enough, you get him in the second round, okay, cool. But if the talent is good enough, get him in the first and deal. But I don't know. He had a DUI before he got here. He had a gas mask on. He was smoking weed before he got here. So we're gonna let him drop. Oh, he did that. All right, let the talent drop to the teams that are thriving right now. Look at this shit. Look at this. So let me get to my point, because there's a few things I do want to talk about today. All right. So I go to Brandon Beane. So Brandon Beane's got a tremendous amount of freaking pressure today. He's got a tremendous amount of pressure today into this offseason, because you just saw what the freaking Philadelphia Eagles were able to do with a checkered past with some players. Guess what? They are thriving. And you know what? They might become big-time members of the community. And you passed on that because it's the look. Boy, you have Josh Allen, which is a strong personality. You got some good dudes in the locker room. What's the problem? You're afraid that one person is going to F this all up? This is where your vetting has to come in. But understand, people change, and the talent is what you need. Because when you look at what the Bills have been able to do, talent-wise, we wouldn't have matched up with the Eagles. I think we probably would have got cooked the same way the Chiefs got cooked. The Bills would have probably got cooked, because I think it would have been a talent issue. So Brandon Beane has got his hands full this offseason. He's got his hands absolutely full. So I'm looking at what Howard Roseman, what Howie was able to do, right? Howie, Jalen Carter, 2023 first-round pick. Jordan Davis, the year before. He got Jordan Davis, first-round pick. Big boy, Jordan Davis. Huge, massive man, right? Josh Sweat, the guy that could have been the MVP in that. He drafted him in the 4th. Brandon Beane does have a track record for mid-round draft picks. Hopefully, Javon Solomon is and becomes the Josh Sweat that we need. I don't know. But I'm a big fan of what Javon Solomon can bring to this team. So the jury's still out. But they got that brother in the 4th round. They got Milton Williams in the 3rd. They got Brandon Graham, been a 14-year vet, drafted in 2010, still on the squad, helped them get to a championship. Bro, Howie Roseman drafted all them cats. He brought them all there. Yo, pressure's on, bro. Brandon Beane, pressure's on. You do not have a track record. You don't have a track record for that. Unbelievable. I'm going through I have my stuff on my phone here, right? You go back and look at Brandon Beane and what he's been able to do, right? And here's the thing about Brandon. Brandon had his time with Carolina, and even Carolina, he had some good weapons on Carolina, right? When he was assistant GM. All right. Ed Oliver, first-round draft pick. I think most folks, if you were to grade Ed Oliver right now and say, what does he mean to this team, and what would you grade him if it was like an A to F? I would say for Ed Oliver, first-round draft pick, I'd say like a B minus B. Between a B plus and a B minus. I'd just say he's a B. Well, closer to B minus. All right. For what we get from Ed Oliver. There's some days where he's an absolute maniac and you love it. And there's some days you're like, where'd he go? Where's he at? Is he around? Like, is he on the stat sheet? Like, I know stat sheets aren't everything, but was he effective? Did I hear the announcer say, oh man, Ed Oliver's been just an absolute dog. Like, you don't get that consistently. And I think that's been my challenge, right? Greg Rousseau. I'm a fan of Greg Rousseau. I believe we should re-sign Greg Rousseau. But I understand what people say, but he doesn't give us the things that we need, right? He's not consistent with giving us, you know what I mean, that 10, 12, 14 sack. He doesn't seem to be that type of player that can give you that. And y'all might be right. Y'all might be absolutely correct with that. So for some folks might say Greg Rousseau, the draft pick, they mean the late round, first round draft pick. Has he been underwhelming? Was he just the right spot? Some people might say, well, it's a late first, early second. So you can look at it as he's a second round draft pick. However y'all want to look at it. Has he flipped the needle for y'all? I guess that's a question I want to ask. Has he flipped the needle for y'all? I'm still debating on it. I'm not even sure. And that's why they picked up his 5th and they said, I need to see more. I need to see more before I decide if I'm going to give you the money you deserve. I think they will pay him because you move on from him. Lord knows what they're going to do with Von Miller. Your D-line is going to be depleted. You will not have a D-line. You'll have Javon Sullivan. You'll probably bring out Eli Ankou. You got Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones. Who knows what we're going to do with Daquan Jones? I mean, AJ Epenesa's, we got him for another year. Like, anybody on that line tell you, like, that scream, like, yo, that line is sick? No, not at all. So you got to do something. I think Groot had a solid year. Does he have enough to take it to another level or two? That's what these guys have to decide on when they decide to pay him the type of money he thinks that he could get. Could he receive upwards of 20 plus mil? Maybe 22 mil, 23, 24 mil. That's where you got to decide on, how much we trying to pay him. All right. So some folks might look at that pick that Brandon Mead made was nothing too crazy. AJ Epinesa. If they said, yo, we cutting AJ Epinesa, I'm not going to sit here and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe. I'm not. I'm like, all right, cool. What's next? Like, who we got? So nothing stands out to you on that line. Now, is this recency bias? Am I feeling some type of way because of what took place against the Kansas City Chiefs from the Philadelphia Eagles? You're damn right I am. You're damn right, because we faced that team. We built this team. We built this defense, this defensive front to take on Pat Mahomes, to disrupt him. And we're bricking. Every shot we take, you know what I mean? Every shot we take, we're off. We're off. We came close, man. That 2020 season, we took that shot. That thing went in the basket, rolled around one more time, and out it went. As close as we got to it. Form was perfect. Just couldn't sit. And every other one was a brick. I mean, I don't know how many more bricks we can lay out until you start looking at the guy that's bringing the groceries to the squad. And the track record for my guy Brandon, Mr. Beane, some might say it's underwhelming. Some might say it's underwhelming. And when you see GMs like Howie doing it the way he's doing it and not giving a damn, I'm going to pay you and I'll deal with the repercussions later, but at least I put a roster strong enough for me to get to my championship. And now he's sitting here with a championship in his hand. It's crazy. Nick Foles got him there. And now Jalen Hurts. Bro, Buffalo is due. But you got to have the right pieces to do it. So when I look at what Howie Roseman was able to do, and I look at we drafted Boogie Basham in the second round, and then we moved on from him before his contract was up. And I don't even know if he's still in the league. And I might be talking to some young folks. I don't even know who Boogie Basham is. Carlos Basham. Where he at? We drafted him in the second round. We went back-to-back defensive fronts. So Beane is trying, but he's missing. He's missing. What a terrible pick that was. I was baffled. I was like, huh. So we went defensive lineman. I get it. You want to go back-to-back because we had Mario Addison and we had Jerry Hughes that were on the end. So I understood it. But you couldn't have. Let me just see what was available before we took Boogie Basham, what we could have had. Because I'm curious myself. What year did we draft Boogie Basham? 2021, right? I'm gonna share my page to y'all so you can see what I see. NFL draft 2021. Let's see what was available when we decided to pick Boogie Basham. Right? You guys hang tight while I share my. Hey, by the way, but since you guys are here early afternoon, how do you guys like this slot? By the way, this early afternoon slot, y'all feeling it? If you are, smash that like, and let's keep it rolling. All right, where we at? We share my screen here. Let me share my screen. Boom, we here now. All right, let me go second round. All right, so the Bills pick Boogie with the 29th pick. 29th pick out of Wake Forest. And there was some good things said about Boogie. But when you looked at what Boogie was able to do and what kind of player he was, it just didn't fit with what the hell we were trying to do. Was this the best player available? Could we not have just said, you know what? Give me Creed Humphreys. Let me solidify that center position. Let's keep it rolling. Nah, we said, nah, we good. We good, right? Could we have moved up and picked anybody that we would have liked? You know what? I don't even want to think about what we could have moved up to get. Let me just go to the third round. What ensued? Because we picked late second round. We could have traded out of it and went to the third. Let's just see what took place in the third. Let's go to the third round, right? All right, Andre Cisco. Okay, let me see who stood out, right? I was a big fan of Joseph Asai. I thought we were really going to try to get Joseph Asai, and I was a fan of that. But we said, nah, we good. We like Boogie Basham. All right, bet. Ali McNeil, defensive tackle. I was a big fan of Ali McNeil coming out of the draft. We said, nah, bro, we like Boogie. Bring on Boogie. Oh, there's good old Milton Williams right here. There's Milton right there doing his thing, right? And I'm not trying to poo-poo too much, but I just I love doing these things to go back and see who was available that we could have. We could have drafted and we could have brought to the squad. And it's always interesting to see who was there. I love this pick. Spencer Brown was great. Love what we did with Spencer Brown. But could you imagine we took a Creed Humphreys and then jumped back in and grabbed Spencer Brown? Holy jumpins. Just saying, right? And I bring these things up just to kind of, sometimes it's nice to go down memory lane. But now let me land this plane. Let me bring it back together, right? And looking at what we need to do and what these Bills need to do is really focus on what's going to make this team best. And I know that's what Brandon Beane is going to be doing, but he's got to get the same scrutiny and pressure that Brandon Beane constantly receives. And it's not like Brandon Beane isn't familiar with what greatness is. He was part of the roster in 2002 when they brought in Julius Peppers with the Carolina Panthers. He knows what it takes. He knows what type of player, that can become great. It's not like he hasn't been around it. You were around Luke Kuechly. You saw what Luke Kuechly brought to the table. You feel me? Like, golly. So I hope Brandon Beane took notes. I hope Brandon Beane understands, bro, they're going to be looking at you to see what you decide to do and bring to the squad. Howie Roseman is looking at y'all like, yo, keep letting me cook because I'm cooking. And he is. He just cooked Andy Reid heavy. Andy Reid don't even know what took place. Poor Travis Kelce was absolutely lost in that game. There's a clip on my Twitter that I put on where Pat Mahomes was scrambling for his life. There was a holding call, mind you, but he got the first down. But it was supposed to be like a slip screen or tight end screen. And because he was running for his life, he wasn't able to see it. My man threw his hands up like, what the hell are you doing? And then just sat there. Well, you better go put a hat on someone. Kansas City's close victories caught up with them in the worst game possible. They were getting away with all these close wins. And Philly was like, nah, not today, bro. Not today. You're not about to block this field goal. You're not about to get a scoop 6 score. You're not going to get any of that stuff. We're going to put belt to ASS. And you can't call for your mama. Which reminds me of Baby Boy. When Ving Rhames, he put little Jody in a headlock. Call for your mama. Can't call for your mama this time. Eagles is like, not today. Belt to ass and you're going to get every lick. My man Walter said, yo, Hurts makes more than Allen. The Eagles will pay top 3. Oh, yeah. And that's another thing too, right? Good point. Hurts makes more than Allen, and the Eagles still pay 3 top paid O-linemen, receivers Brown and Smith, both make more than Diggs, Barkley, and top paid tight end. Like, this tells me that it's possible. It is absolutely possible to pay your top players. And we sit here bargain bin shopping. Listen, we watching you, Beane. Mr. Beane, we watching you, bro. Pressure's on. I hope you took notes on what type of player you need. It's not like you didn't just become a GM out of nowhere. You've been doing this a long time. So you should have a good idea of what type of game-changing player you need on the squad. I still can't. I still can't get over the Boogie Basham pick. I can't get over that one. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. So I'm hoping that Brandon Beane took a lot of notes in this Chiefs game and did a lot of reflecting. And says, all right, how can I get this team over the hump? Because it'd be absolutely wild. We bring in the same philosophy next year. We bring in the same BS, and we lose again to Andy Reid and go 0 for 5. Now, you on the block with your boy. You should be on the block with your boy because you're bringing the ingredients to the table. So if you're bringing bad ingredients and one's not cooking properly, man, what are we doing? We're gonna throw the whole kitchen away? And trust me, I'm a big fan of Brandon Beane and I'm a big fan of Sean McDermott. But fam, there comes a time where you're looking at your peers and you're like, yo, how the fuck are they doing that shit? So that next owners meeting, you better sit your behind right next to Howard Roseman and start listening to how he talking. Shit, you might as well ask him, yo, how'd you do it? I don't care. You billionaires, you millionaires, you do what you guys supposed to do. Shoot, man. I'm gonna say, yo, we're $14 million over the cap and we're hardly paying anyone. Well, guess what? Get to working. Get to moving some things around. And don't forget, don't get me wrong. The Eagles got a whole lot of guys that they got to re-sign. Like Josh Sweat. You got me saying Josh Sweat. Josh Sweat is going to be he's probably most likely going to be a free agent as well. So they got to figure out what they're going to do with him. So there's several things that these Eagles are going to have to do. But guess what? It was worth it for them to go do what they needed to do. So was it for the Rams. Even the owner was like, yo, F them picks. I'm getting the players I need to. So if it's not about like, do what must be done to get over the hump. That's it, man. That's it. That's it, baby. Come on now. My man Walter says, yo, that's a perfect comp. The post-Super Bowl Rodgers Packers were the same way. So Walter said something earlier. I'm going to try to find the chat because it was rolling all the way up there if I can before I get into my next point. If I can find it. Where was my man Walter talking? Anyways, before I get into Walter, I got a super chat coming from my guy, my man, JR. Yo, what up, Rico? If I'm Brandon Beane, trade Russo for 2 first-round picks for Myles Garrett, sign a quarterback Ward, sign quarterback Ward from the 49ers, draft a big DT and legit receiver, and we're good. Listen, that's a fantastic laundry list. Brandon Beane just got to do it. He's got to find the right ones. Like your team that's out there doing what they do, shoot. We got to be better, baby. We got to be ready. Anyway, let's move on to the next point. We know that Brandon Beane has to get it done. Just has to. By the way, Raleigh Mina says, yo, would have had Cooper DeJean, Beane bettering. He's bettering up. Oh, he better tighten up. We would have, should have. But he probably said, yo, the white cornerback? Heck no. White corners don't work in this league. Cooper DeJean is like, yo, hold my tea. Hold my tea while I show you this work. Yo, white corners, love it. Love to see a white corner. You love to see it. Anyway, let's move on. Eagles got 18 million cap space. Shoot. How? Who's their financier? Who's their guy, man? We got to figure it out. Golly. All right, let's move on. Next topic. James Cook. James Cook is feeling himself. James Cook is absolutely feeling himself. He was on the old internet, was on the old social media, and was pretty much letting it be known. If you're going to talk contract with me, it's going to be $15 million a year. And I'm not taking a penny less. $15 million a year that James Cook is asking for, or he's hinting towards. hinting, asking for. The minute you put your like button on there, you repost that, that's what you want. You ain't got to say it. That's what we know. Your brother has been plastering that you want 20 mil a year. So the real question is, y'all love Cook that much? For Rico, James Cook is amazing. What are you talking about? He's this and he's that. Put your mouth where, you know what I mean? All that junk you were talking to me about. Yo, man, relax on James Cook. He's nice like that. I'm not saying he's not, but is he that nice? Is he $15 million nice? Oh, now y'all silent now. This is what I'm talking about. I was trying to tell y'all he nice, but he's got some limitations. And all of a sudden, now he's replaceable. Oh, that's all I'm seeing now. And I'm laughing because most of y'all are going to think, oh, here comes Rico now. Now he's laughing. Nah, bro. Because I was trying to tell you, when Ray Davis came through, I wouldn't be surprised, and I said it. Y'all heard me say it. I would not be surprised if Ray Davis takes over James Cook. Oh, you tripping. All right, how tripping am I? You want to pay him $50 million? Wouldn't you rather put that money towards a Myles Garrett, a Max Crosby? We just drafted Ray Davis that's very capable of A, catching the football, B, pass protection, and C, running in between the tackles. That's what you need in this league. And he can take a pitch outside. And don't get me wrong, I'm a fan. I've become a big fan of James Cook. But I ain't no fool either. I ain't no fool either. So if y'all are ready to pay James Cook $50 million a year, and this is the time for him to do it because he had 16 rushing touchdowns. He had 1,000 yards rushing. So it looks mighty good. It looks mighty good. But I will not put him in the category of CMC, Saquon Barkley, freaking Derrick Henry. I'm not going to put him in that category. Are you ready to put him in that category? I'm probably missing another running back that's better than him. Alvin Kamara. I'm not gonna put him in that category yet. I don't know. You guys tell me, is he worth $15 million? And if he is, you better put a package together. If you think he is, then kick rocks for number one. But if you are thinking the way I'm thinking, yo, wrap that brother up in a package, call Cleveland, and say, yo, Nick Chubb, we already know what time it is with Nick Chubb. So I'll send you James Cook. You give me Myles Garrett, and we'll work out what kind of trade, some picks that you want, and let's roll. This will make Z-Bot absolutely happy. He gets to keep his bookend tackles, and then he gets Myles Garrett. We get Myles Garrett, and then we keep it rolling. Love Jimbo, but $15 million worth? Yeah. We got to talk about that. My man Walter, I look at it two ways. One hand, that's a bit too rich for my blood. I agree, for Cook. But on the other hand, when I watch this defense continue to choke, I'm rushing to sign anyway, but players that help Allen. I get that part too. Ray Davis does the part. Not only does Ray Davis do the part, so does Ty Johnson. Ty Johnson will definitely return. And then you've got Frank Gore Jr. waiting in the wings. So, in hindsight, if Jimbo wants to leave for $15 million, yo, I'm gonna package that thing up and go. Brandon Beane cannot let him play one more year and then let him walk in free agency. Don't do it. Don't let him just walk for nothing. Get him while he's hot right now. He is absolutely hot right this second. Sell high. And that's the highest you're about to get from this guy. Right? There's some people that really truly believe that running back is a dime a dozen. So for those that believe that the running back is a dime a dozen, this is your opportunity to do it. We'll get another one. Actually, we already have one lined up. Could you imagine? Let's talk here. We trade We trade away. See, there you go. There, I was waiting for somebody to say, Rico, you tripping. See, you got people that say, yo, keep him. Pay him $15 million. We can do it. Let's let our defense continue to just look like what they look like. But let's go pay $50 million to James Cook. But Rico, I'm the one tripping. All right. Anyways, let me keep rolling here. Ashton Genty. I'm throwing this out there because because we spitball right now. We talking. Ashton Genty falls to the second round. And if he's the best player available, you move on from James Cook. You take on an Ashton Genty. Now you got a 1-2 punch in Ashton Genty and Ray Davis. I wouldn't say it's the right 1-2 punch, but I'm just saying there are some good backs coming out in this draft that you could. You absolutely could. And Brandon Beane is known to just flip these receivers, these running backs. Think about it. Devin Singletary out of here, right? We traded for LaShawn McCoy, and then we got the tail end of LaShawn McCoy. We brought in what's my boy that went to the Bengals? Someone please refresh my memory. Godly, sometimes my memory is so shot. My man that went to we drafted him. It was him and Singletary going back and forth, right? Traded his ass. We don't keep these guys, man. Brandon Beane more specifically. He's not about that. Go back to Carolina. It was a 1-2 punch. Zach Moss, thank you very much. Zach Moss, yo, you out of here, bro. We sticking with Devin Singletary. All right. Go back to Carolina. It was a 1-2 punch. James Stewart with DeAndre Williams. It's a 1-2 punch. This is Brandon Beane's MO. He was part of that. So he's not about to, pay out 15 mil. I can't see it happening. If he does, I'd be shocked. My man said, yo, Rico, your boy Breece probably on the market. Listen, if you put Breece Hall with Josh Allen, it's problems. Big problems. That was big problems. But I'm a big fan of Ray Davis, so I'm good. I'm cool on that. Ray Davis is my guy. Kendra, what's up, Kendra? Kendra says, yo, 15 mil is a lot, and I think he's just giving something to talk about. I think James loves the Bills, locker room, and Josh. We do need to keep him, but I don't think he holds out for 15, maybe 10. But I'll tell you right now, if you're James Cook and you had your best single season, your brother's been in the game a long time. He sees what's taking place with his brother. His brother's probably like, yo, take the money right now because these boys don't care about you. You put your body on the line. You see the way you run XYZ. You get your payday now while you're still young. Because gone are the days is when you're 30 years old. They used to let running backs get to 30 and then they'd say, he's done. He's out of here. Now it's dropped down to about 27, 28. He's nearing 30. He's slowing down. So his brother, Dalvin, is like, yo, get your money where you can. Yeah, but I want to win. You'll probably win where you can get paid. They need a running back. Look, Dallas Cowboys need a running back. I know they like Rico Dowding. Doubt it. They ain't got a runner like that. You let James Cook go over there, they'll pay. They need a running back. They're competing with Dak Prescott and them boys. You never know. So Rico tripping? No, I'm not. 15 mil is hefty. That's hefty. I don't care what anybody wants to tell me, that's hefty. And if we pay $15 million for James Cook, we deserve what comes to us. And if we get a championship out of it, I'll be shocked, but I'll be grateful for it. But I just can't see it happening. Cook is saying exactly what he should from a negotiating strategy standpoint. You're absolutely right. That's what he should be. Get the most as you can in your youth right now. So nobody should worry too much. If your starting amount is what you expect, you already lost. Listen, man, he might be asking for 15, but really he's asking for like maybe 12, 13. Or maybe he's asking for 15, saying, I'm standing put. I'm looking around the league and I'm seeing who's getting paid what. I'm just as good as these guys. Because that's how negotiations start, right? Look around who's doing what you do. Take a look at age. Take a look at longevity. I'm not a guy that gets injured. I think he missed the one game this year. Was it because of the concussion? I can't remember if it was a concussion. I think it was a concussion, right? So I'm just as good as this guy and this guy and this guy, and these guys are getting paid this much. Or this guy's getting paid 12, and I'm much better than him, and I deserve more. Give me more than that. And since I've been on this team with you, Brandon Beane, this is what we've been able to accomplish. Josh is playing the best he's ever played. You saw him; he had an MVP season with production back like myself. Those are the things that he's going to say. I mean, at least that's what I would say. Christian McCaffrey's making $18 million a year. You want me to give you 15? I don't know about all that. This is where Brandon Beane's like, yo, I've seen this. I've done this dance before. It's not happening. You're traded. Tell me where you want to go. I'll try to facilitate it. But we're not paying you 15. Well, where do you think that you can pay me? Probably 11. If that. Then at this point, he's going to be, I'm out of here. Like, isn't that what Saquon's getting right now? Isn't Saquon getting 15 mil? Sorry, maybe less than that, actually. What's Saquon's Barkley's contract? Just writing it right now. So Saquon right now, his contract, 12.8 mil over the next 3 years. So you want to get more than Saquon, eh, bro? I don't know about all that. I don't know all about that. So that will be an interesting one for Brandon Beane to deal with. Like I said, Brandon's got 12.8. He's making 12.8 mil. So we'll round it up 12.58. So let's round it up to 13. All right, whatever you want to call it. But you're not going to tell me a 2,000-yard rusher that's not even close to being 30 is getting that much and you want to get more than him? Like, make it make sense, young man. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. And you have one of the best O-line. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for. You want to get more money? You're going to be running behind a line that doesn't got what we got over here. Be careful what you wish for. But I also understand the business side of it. You got to make your money. Question is, how much money are we willing to pay you? My man Namdi says, yo, Cook is tripping, man. 8 to 10 mil max for Cook. Henry makes 10. Henry's also 30. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, too. So use Saquon as your barometer right now because he just recently got paid. And he just had a 2,000-yard season. You barely got over 1,000. You feel me? This is where Brandon Beane has to put his big boy pants on and say, all right, this is that time of year, so no, we're not going to pay you. So let me see where I can shop your ass. Ray, get ready, boy. You're gonna be toting that rock. Ty Johnson, we bring you back, baby. Let's go. Frank Gore, you ready to jump in and create your legacy? Let's do it. Let me see if I can get some picks for James Cook. Let me see if I can get Myles Garrett for James Cook. Come on now. Don't play with me. All right. Let me get to my last point before I get out of here. Did you guys enjoy the Super Bowl? Was the Super Bowl of your liking? More specifically, did you guys like the halftime show? And I tell you this, man, it was absolutely comical reading a lot of the commentary on any social media blog. I always run the comments is one of the best things created. One of the best things created. The comment section. Whoever decided, yo, whatever gets posted, open that comment section. Let's see what people think. Comment sections are the absolute best. I sometimes laugh more at what's in the comment section rather than the content that I just watched. The comment section will have me in tears. I don't know about y'all. Comment section on Instagram, amazing. Absolutely amazing. Now, let me get back to the Super Bowl. How did y'all feel about the halftime show, specifically with Kendrick Lamar? Let me tell you, you guys already know I'm a Kendrick hater. All right? Do I think he's talented? Absolutely. Very talented. Was the halftime show legitimate? Was it nice? It was. As a hip-hop performer, you know what I'm saying? As just a straight hip-hop performer, he did his thing. Now, there was a lot of things in there that most people, I can't understand what he's saying. What's he saying? It's true. There were some moments where I was like, what? I know that song, but I can't really understand physically, like literally here. I can't hear what he's saying because the music was drawing him out. But as for the performance, legit. Choreography, legit. The way he had Samuel L. Jackson kind of doing this thing, and there was double meaning to what Samuel L. Jackson doing. I thought that was cool. I thought that was. I hated the Not Like Us. Should I do it? No, I'm not gonna do it. Should I do it? No. Get out of here with that. There's only so much longer you can keep, ringing on my guy Drake. You get off that, man. Go start making some new stuff so we can see how much people will really tune into your ass. Because people tune into you guys off of Drake. Anyways, that's just me being a hater. Let me hate. But for the most part, the performance was legitimate. Yeah, but there wasn't enough. He was just walking around and just rapping and there's just not enough, bro. Do you know how hard it is to walk around and keep your breath and do all the stuff he was doing? And he still kept the rolling. He was nice. I give him that. Performance-wise, was nice. But he didn't move around enough for me. That type of music's not for me. Bro, there were some times where I was listening to some who was this one year? I was like, this is terrible. But it's not my genre of music. Where I didn't even watch it was like Red Hot Chili Peppers? No, not Red Hot Chili Peppers. It was an old band. There was an old band, but that's really popular. Super popular. And they were playing stuff that people loved back in the day. So sometimes you're going to have that. There's going to be a crowd for that. But the people that are, he was terrible. He was this. Was it Coldplay? Tom Petty? Yeah, it was probably Tom Petty. Tom Petty? No, I can sit here and listen to Tom Petty. Look, I was looking forward more to the commercials, if anything. Or was it U2? I don't know. Name one. Name one. U2, Tom Petty, freaking Coldplay. Like, name one. Not a fan. Not a fan. But Kendrick's, though, super dope. Now, there is something that's going around. If my lady, and this is more so for Serena Williams, that's taking a whole conversation. People talk about it. Why is Serena Williams up there crip walking and sea walking on the stage and stuff like that when you got a whole man? For those that don't know, Serena used to, date or talk to or see, however you guys want to call it, had a situationship with Drake back in the day. They've since broken up, et cetera, et cetera. She's now married and doing all that stuff. I'd be damned if my lady, my wife, my lady Jenna upstairs is like, yo, my ex-boyfriend is being hated all over the place. There's an artist that's asked me to come on here to jump on his track. We represent the West Coast and stuff like that. Heck no, put your behind somewhere and sit down. You got nothing to do with that no more. You grown. You got kids. You're not gonna see walk nothing. You sit your behind down. I wasn't a fan of whole Serena Williams up there, but I understand the concept. When you're from the West Coast, all that good stuff. We're coming together, but you already had your concert for that. You had it. You had it. Mustard. We understand. But objectively speaking, it was nice. He had some tracks that people knew. He had some tracks that people didn't know. But for an artist like Kendrick Lamar, it's not, you can't look at it at face value. You can't just sit there and listen. You really got, he's always got intentions behind what he's doing. So it's like an Easter egg thing. You gotta look for the Easter eggs in his stuff. So for hip hop heads, that's what you got to do. I just don't like it that he's hating on my guy. Everybody knows that. You know what I mean? So it is what it is at the end of the day. But the performance wise, it's nice to see hip hop get on the stage. Hip hop is one of the biggest genre of music out there. That's what the kids are listening to. That's what these have TikToks out there of hip hop tracks. Now, a lot of them are trash. I'm 2000s guy. 2000s hip hop. That's my genre. I go back to the 90s. That's my thing. It's new stuff these days. I ain't with it. But I openly say I'm hating. Yeah, I'm absolutely hating on Kendrick. Because there's only so long you're gonna hate on my guy Drake. There's only so long. And then when Drake drops his track with this Friday on Valentine's Day, we'll see what's up. Anyway, before I get out of here, Valentine's Day is just around the corner. What y'all doing for Valentine's Day? I always like to ask people, married folk, folks that are in new relationships, is Valentine's Day like a thing? You know what I mean? For me, married folk, we ain't got to do all the flowers and all that stuff. That's just for me. The wife and I, we have a great understanding. We're not the lovey-dovey kind of, you know what I mean? Like big to do. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my man said, yo, V-Day is BS, man. I ain't doing no V-Day. But there's some people that are mushy like that. And they love the grandstanding. Yo, you got to do something big for me because it's Valentine's Day. There's some women that they will get mad at you if you don't do nothing. I'll tell you something. There's one day, I think it was a couple years ago. I was like scrambling. I was like, I literally totally forgot that Valentine's Day was like the day after or the day of. I couldn't remember. And I was like, shoot. And I know she don't like nothing, but she's also one that likes you to acknowledge it. Acknowledge it by saying, yo, happy Valentine's Day, babe. Done. She's good enough for that. A big hug or a cooked supper or cooked dinner, take her out for dinner. It don't got to be a big to-do. But your boy forgot. So I was like, what do I do in crunch? What do you do? So I'm like, yo, I'm not in, and my mind wasn't there on some romance. I wasn't. My mind was like elsewhere. So I was like, all right, what am I doing here? So I got her this like, you know, those perfume sets where you can have like, you can pick like, there's like sample sets of like 8 or 9, and then you can sample every one of them. And then whatever one you want, you can get the big one, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, got it. Bingo. That should do the trick. Bring it home. Happy Valentine's Day, babe. She knew it was rushed because she was like, yo, you're normally home by now. What are you doing? Girl, you know what I'm doing. Don't play me like that. So I come home. Happy Valentine's Day, babe. Well, here you go. She hated it. She roasted me. She's like, bro, just say you forgot. Just say you forgot. And as a stubborn man, I was like, no, I didn't forget. I was just trying to. Nah, man, you forgot. She called me out. So for those that are trying to rush and do stuff, sometimes it doesn't take a grandstand. Like, this is my advice to you guys, for the guys that are out there. You got to rush it. A nice card. And that's what I should have did. A nice card, heartfelt card. Get the kids involved. Always try to get the kids involved and then go from there. Now, for me, what I do with my girls, and before I get out of here, because it's now we done talking football. If you have kids, you have daughters more specifically, you got to get them something. And that's the one thing that we do in this house is we get the girls stuff for Valentine's Day. Why? So they know to be appreciated on that day. They can then choose how they want to receive it, but always know that you're appreciated by your pops. So when the next man comes in, there's a standard that the young boy has to adhere to. You can't just come in, la-dee-da, and say, you know what I mean? You got to establish that together where, yo, we don't really do it like that, right? We cool like that? We good? Young puppy love? Cool. But the dads, the papas, we have to grandstand for the babies because they'll remember it. So then when the next boy comes in and tries to woo your daughter, which I'm going to be all over, but they try to woo your daughter, they got to come correct because they have an example. Also, that's what you're doing? Okay. You got to step your game up. But it has to be established later on in the relationship where you and your boo can decide, all right, are we going to keep doing this whole, are we good like that? Cool. At the beginning, you know that's how it has to be. It's Valentine's Day. This is what it is. Treat your mother as well, by the way. You're absolutely right. Buff that. Ooh, that's a good one. You got to treat your mother. I send my mom, I'm out of town, so sometimes I'll send her some flowers. She's not a flower girl, but I send her flowers just to say, you know, Mom, I'll think about you. So it's funny. Nothing great for your wife, but you got to, you know, show love to your mama and show love to your baby girls. That's what you got to do. That's the advice that is coming from your boy Rico. Now, W father, hell yeah. I'm gonna tell you this, right? Wilmer, being a father for me, number one task. Love it. It's one of the best things. I was like meant to be a pops. You know what I mean? So it's always great. Disciplining and all that stuff, everything to do with the kids, it'd be great. If life wasn't so expensive, I'll probably have more. To be honest with you, ain't nothing better than having siblings that you can really rock on and stuff. Having a single, it sucks being like a single parent. Excuse me, not a single parent, like a kid with no brothers or sisters. It's tough. Cousins, cool. They can actually be brother and sister, but if you're like an only child, it's tough. You know what I mean? And it's tough for the parents too, because the parents got to be the one playing with y'all. Yeah, I'm tired. Daddy, play with me. I'm like, golly, go play with your sister. Anyway, those are for when you get up in age, when you start realizing, yo, I'm too old for this stuff. But it's all love at the end of the day. So, folks, enjoy the rest of your day. This was an early afternoon Rico report, and we got it. By the way, one last report to show that the Bills have made some changes on the roster, and that's the coaching roster. Give me a second here. Let me put it up there for y'all. Give me 1 second, y'all. If you guys haven't seen it yet, let me post it up for y'all. If y'all haven't seen it, so obviously we moved on. We moved away from our special teams coach Smiley. He's out of here. He will, I'm sure, find he'll find work somewhere. I'm sure of it. But here we go. So what do we got here? We got some news here. Oh, Alec Anderson. I love that. By the way, Alec Anderson coming back. Love Alec Anderson, by the way. Big fan of it. Love to see Alec Anderson back with the group. Love to see it. And this guy's going to be a problem in this offense because when he comes in, I always feel good. I always feel very good. When I see Alec Anderson check in, I don't know about y'all, but I always know that this is going to be a positive play. I really do. I see Alec Anderson come in. I'm like, okay, we're about to do something special with this play because Alec Anderson is in. So big shout out to Alec Anderson coming through, and he signs with exclusive rights tender for the 2025. So that's coming from Tom Pelissero. Gotta love it. More things coming through the pipeline. So the Bills are hiring Panthers interim head coach Chris Tabor as their special teams coordinator. So interim head coach tells me, and I don't know too much about Mr. Tabor, but I know two things. Well-regarded around the league. It's number one. Number two, he needs a little bit more sun. It's all good, though. And number three, when you're an assistant head coach, sometimes it may mean nothing, but to me, it means that you're well-regarded, respected on the roster. And if I am suspended for some reason, or I've got to deal with an issue, or I'm booted out because I'm so upset, and I cause a stir on the field, you step in my regard. That tells me big time leadership is there with Mr. Tabor. So Mr. Tabor now becomes our special teams guy. I'm going to do a little bit more information on him later on to see what takes place. And what else we got here? And by the way, if you guys are wondering where I'm perusing right now, I'm perusing and I'm scrolling around our Buffalo Fanatics Instagram. And if you guys have not followed us on Instagram, that's where you need to. Killing it on Instagram right now. So if you haven't seen it yet, the Bills are going to be picking 30th. We got a first round pick. We got 2 second round picks. What will we do with that second round pick? That second round pick? Do we, you know what I'm talking about? Do we package it up and move down in the draft, or move up, what someone want to call it? Or you just make your picks and just go from there? That'll be something that we'll definitely be looking forward to seeing. By the way, folks, 124,000 followers on our Instagram. Go ahead and show us some love on Instagram, and we'll go from there. And that's it. I'm gonna see you guys again on Friday, and it'll be me and my man Bot, and we'll go from there. So if you guys enjoyed the show, do me a favor, smash that likey. If you have not, hit the subscribe button. I don't know what y'all waiting for. Subscribe to the channel. If you haven't been getting your notifications, it's super important. Click that little notification bell. Click that notification bell. It lets you know when myself or Bot will be going live. This offseason is going to be a big offseason. Hopefully we'll be planning some things together, get some special guests on the show, some players. I went away from that last year, and I want to try to get back into it this year. I think it's important. I think it gives us a way to draw closer to some of these players that are on the squad. So looking forward to it. I think what I'm going to do, one of my first guests I'm going to try to get is Javon Solomon. I really want to talk to Javon Solomon and see what's going on. All right. Before I get out of here, I got some super chats got to get to. My man, Scott Van Loo. What up, Scotty? Scotty comes in and says, yo, we got 10 picks in the draft. We got 2 in the second. We got 2 in the second, 2 in the 4th round, and 2 in the 5th round. And we got 3 in the 6th round. Go ahead, boy, breaking it down. So we got plenty to work with to draft and get what we need. We do. And we also know that Brandon Beane hits in middle rounds for however he does it. He hits in the middle rounds. So at this point, I mean, shoot, if we can try to, get 3 top picks in the first 90, bam, that'd be great, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be amazing? I guess we'll soon find out. By the way, last one. Big Papa Bill says, yo, breaking news, Kadarius Toney just got arrested. Shocker. There's some guys they just don't get it. They don't get it. And these players right here are the ones where the vetting part. Is the talent worth the issues that this guy gets into? That's what it has to come down to. There's no way you can tell me the talent was so supreme that you took a chance on that, brother. Heck no. The talent has to be like almost generational, where you just can't get rid of a guy. That guy's a problem. And look at Kadarius Toney. He's about to play himself out of the freaking league. You've already been on 3 teams already, bro. Like, what are you doing? Anyway, can't judge anybody. Don't judge them. Can't do it. Anyway, folks, that is my time. If you guys enjoyed this stream, do me a favor, smash it. If you guys enjoyed it, share it. Get the likes up, because the more likes on these videos, the more it gets liked and people start talking about it. So what topic did you guys enjoy the most today? Was it Brandon Beane and the pressure that he's on and what he needs to do with his defensive front? How he needs to draft? What kind of players he needs to draft? Does he need to stay away from the nice guys and start going after the bad boys? Do we not have the leadership on the team to correct those boys? I certainly think so. So why doesn't the team believe that? That's a whole nother ballgame. Secondly, James Cook, $15 million. Is he worth it? Should we sign him at $15 million? Is he as good as Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey? Is he amongst those guys? Or is he more worth 8 to 10 mil? Because 8 to 10, I'll deal. 15, too rich for my blood. Package that brother up, trade him, bring in somebody that helps us on the defensive side of the ball. That's the way I see it. And lastly, Super Bowl. I didn't mind the Super Bowl. Super Bowl is nice. Kendrick Lamar, great artist. I'm not one that will listen to Kendrick from one song to another. That's not my style. Can't do it. But he did his thing. He absolutely did his thing at the Super Bowl, and he represented for the hip-hop culture. You got to love that. You got to love that. For those hating on Kendrick, I can't hear it. This music's chart. It's terrible. Then go listen to Tom Petty, okay, or Coldplay. And they're probably really good bands. You just don't have the ear for Kendrick Lamar. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. That's my time, folks. Y'all enjoy the rest of your afternoon. We will catch you guys again potentially on Friday. Your boy's going to be out of town the week after that. I'm going to Newfoundland. Here we go. So we'll talk to you guys soon. You guys enjoy yourself. Have a great afternoon. Catch you guys on the flip. It's your boy, and I'm gone. Peace.
Play good, be humble. Number 17, the captain. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. Hey, I'm a Buffalo fanatic. Just like Rico, going live, talking to my people. Cause the team's driven like West Hurt. Other teams can't, it's a repo. The opponents gotta call up Triple O. Bills Mafia, we heating up, we too electrical. We got Beane the plug, electric show. We wired up, hit up Rico. He fired up. We know where we stand on the power ranking. Other teams fans in the comments hating. We block them all. We protecting Josh. Salute to him. He the general now. Rico got legends for interviews. How the Buffalo Bills got the best fan base. Away games, red, white, blue in the crowd. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. Play good, be humble. Number 17, the captain. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. I'm a Buffalo fanatic.